Hello YouTube, this is Golden Eman 1 here, and today I'd like to have a discussion about the long lost Bastion Fleet Carrier. According to the original concept, the Bastion is a Terran Republic interstellar ship that was used for the colonization of Araxis. It could also be adapted for atmospheric flight and contain spawn tubes and aircraft terminals. Around the announcement of the construction system, there was some hype around the Bastion Fleet Carrier since it was added into some game files, but it has never really been mentioned since, but I have an idea that could potentially make it a good addition to the game. Let's talk about the names and the features it could have. To improve faction diversity, each faction should get a different model of the fleet carrier, but they will all have the same functionality. The TR should keep the name of the Bastion, whilst the VS variant could be called the Triton, which is a satellite that orbits Neptune, and the NC variant could be called the Insurgent, which is another name for rebels. As for the functionality, they should keep the feature of having spawn tubes and aircraft terminals, but moreover I would like to see some turrets and maybe some ion cannons. The turrets will be able to do damage against ground and aerial targets, but the fleet carrier shouldn't be able to fly below 500 meters. To build fleet carriers, a faction must have refined 10,000 cortium and have a core. This will be a great way to reinforce the importance of the construction system and building bases with their hives. It will take 30 minutes to construct, but the faction will be limited to 2 fleet carriers with a cooldown time of 4 hours once one of them have been destroyed. To make this decision, a vote could be casted by all the players within the faction, or the leaders of that faction, as they will be voting whether to build a fleet carrier or take the victory point. Now, the bonus for the faction who has built the fleet carrier will gain 2 victory points for every 50 minutes the fleet carrier is kept alive. However, if it is destroyed, then the faction who has destroyed it will gain 3 victory points. Since your whole faction has voted to build a fleet carrier, to prevent trolling, the fleet carrier should be piloted by the AI. They would engage in battle if they spot enemy fleet carriers, or would follow lattice links and support attacks from the air along the front lines, making them a buffing force for attackers, but also a vulnerable target for enemies. The main role of fleet carriers should be to bombard enemy ground forces, as well as destroying enemy bases, so maybe some mounted ion cannons would be a good idea. Attackers of the fleet carriers would have 2 options of destroying enemy ones. The first option would be to destroy the fleet carrier bit by bit. The first part would be the shield generator, which protects the hull of the fleet carrier, and once the generator has been destroyed, you can inflict damage to the hull of the ship. Other options would include destroying the engines and the bridge. Now, this is a slow but relatively safe way of destroying a fleet carrier, but the second and quick but risk-taking way would be to fly into its hangar and destroying the core of the fleet carrier from the inside. Whilst the fleet carrier is being attacked, defenders will be able to spawn into the fleet carrier to protect it. You would also have to board the fleet carrier by galaxies and fight off defenders as you get closer to the core and destroy it. This would be a hard challenge for the attackers, but to ease it up a bit, galaxies could be able to deploy the same way Sunders currently do, like in beta, but only when the galaxy is in a fleet carrier. Once the core has been destroyed, everyone would have about 1 minute to escape before the fleet carrier explodes. Now let's through a sketch scenario where we witness the construction to the destruction of a fleet carrier, and I hope you forgive my diagrams. So, the Vanu Sovereignty have voted in favour of building their fleet carrier, the Triton, and after 30 minutes of construction, the Triton travels to the front line from the Warp Gate. Using its ion cannons, it will be able to attack enemy Terran Republic ground forces and also attack TR aircrafts with its turrets. After 15 minutes, the VS have gained 2 victory points, and the TR decide enough is enough and launch their attack. The TR managed to destroy the shield generator and board the Triton through the hangar. Heavy fighting within the Triton takes place, but the TR have the upper hand and manage to locate and destroy the core. The core becomes unstable and blows up, giving the TR 3 victory points. A while ago I made a video talking about if facility alerts should return, but also reinforcing the fact that we need new alert types, and I believe fleet carriers could play a role in this, with an alert based on building and destroying them. Since you'd need 10,000 cortium and a core to construct one, it would require a faction to make sure they build strong bases with hives, and this way it will induce some infantry and ground vehicular fights, so no one is left out. I can imagine some epic aerial battles and sieges as attackers make an attempt to destroy the enemy fleet carriers, but on the other hand, to engage fleet carriers, some players would need some flight experience, but I have some videos coming on that soon. So what do you guys think about this idea? What would you like to see added or removed? Do feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, why not subscribe to receive some more golden quality content. But nonetheless guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.